Welcome to Constructive, a podcast about construction, technology, and whatever else comes up. Hope you enjoy. Hey guys, welcome back to Constructive. Excited this week to bring a new perspective from someone entering the industry, a little more on that end of her career. And I got to talk to her a little bit and have also followed her a little bit on LinkedIn, and just really impressed with the maturity and the intelligence, and excited to kind of hear that perspective from someone who's getting out of the education world and coming in and starting to look at what you want to do with your career. So let me just let you introduce yourself. What's your name and where are you at now? What's your background quickly?
So first of all, I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I'll introduce myself. So I'm Ridhima Pandit. Currently, I'm a graduate student at Georgia Tech studying Building Construction and Facilities Management, and I will be graduating in December this year.
That's awesome. What do you think, was the first thing that really made you think that's maybe what I want to do when I grow up? And maybe you're still not 100% set on it, but why in general, in a bigger picture sense, why construction and engineering and architecture?
Okay. So this starts with my childhood journey. So my father has a real estate business. He has a 30-year-old real estate business in India. So I used to accompany him in the office, and he also used to get the brochures and the pamphlets of the residential buildings and the architectural layouts, the blueprints. So I used to go through them regularly and used to ask him the questions regarding why they are planning this apartment like this, why they are the space allotment of the building. So he used to teach me this is the reason, and also he used to take me to the construction sites, and there I can see the 2D prints of the building are converting into the tangible structures. So yeah, that sparked me my interest in the architecture, and my father supported me in this journey. So yeah, so this is my journey in architecture field.
That's awesome. So yeah, you got involved early enough to where you saw the construction industry in a state where a lot of stuff was on paper. You got to see drawings on paper. I don't know if you agree with me, but I kind of found that stuff kind of beautiful in an interesting way, and in more an analytical design beauty. Do you like construction drawings? Is it, and you mentioned too them going from 2D to a 3D thing in reality. What do you think about the 3D world, and should we be designing in 3D? Do you like all that stuff?
So I'm very into the 3D stuff because I know the variety of 3D softwares like the SketchUp, Revit. So while studying the architecture, I used to get my plans into the software and start developing the models. And also that gave me the platform to do with my ideas and play with the building form, which turned out to be very great.
In your education, did you get training in software? What was fun about your education, and also how do you feel like it's prepared you for the workplace?
So obviously, the education we study and we got, what we got from the classroom is way different in the practical aspect, like the on-site construction. So, but yeah, the classroom has prepared me well enough to understand the design and the building codes, how they are executing it into the the on-site, and sometimes in the classroom they prefer it is a safe place. The project they gave you, it is very concise in a way, and you don't have many factors into that. But while working on the on-site thing, you have numerous challenges, including the budget overruns, or if there is a change or the change order in the process. So you have to deal with many challenges on the side as compared to the classroom.
So true. It continues to surprise me how different my job is than my education was. I had a great one though. I went to Cal Poly and studied construction management, so it was practical, and I do use a lot of the concepts still in my job. But so much of the job becomes about people and relationships that the technical side you just have to know. You have to know terminology. Like you were talking about change orders, RFIs, and you kind of have to speak a construction language. But at the end of the day, I feel like the best people in the construction management world are ones who are very relational and good at both communicating and caring about people. That brings me kind of to like my theme of the podcast. It's called Constructive because I just want to be helpful, and I feel like I want to help others around me succeed. And yes, I want to be successful too, but I almost feel like prioritizing helping others succeeding is a way for it just to intrinsically help you. So it almost becomes selfish to be selfless. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but does that stuff resonate to you? Do you care about kind of the people aspect of the job?
Yeah, so I would like to add on this constructive thing. So currently I'm volunteering with Atlanta Habitat for Humanity. So it's a great thing, like I'm giving back to the community. And also the funny part, the interesting part is like the owner is also working on the project. So like it is very a great seeing that the owner is also involved in the process, and they are seeing how their home will be build up or come up into the reality, like their dream to have their own home, and it is turning into the reality. So it is very great to see like the people smiling at the construction site, and they're helping each other. And we are also learning, like sometimes we don't get the hands-on experience while doing the course, like the in the classroom. But but this opportunity, the volunteering thing, helped me to learn more about screwing the screwing and the nailing thing. So yeah, it's a great opportunity.
Hmm. I find that too in my job, that I get excited when I'm helping a community and I can see that. Like, for example, sometimes my job is boring and not as glamorous as you think it might be when you're growing up. I grew up wanting to be an architect as well, and I was just like, I'm going to design these amazing resorts or skyscrapers or whatever. Sometimes my job can be boring in comparison to those dreams. It's like, hey, we need a fence at this school. And then what makes me motivated to enjoy that is I think about, well, it's a fence that's got privacy screening for these children who are playing on a playground that could really use a safe, secure, private place to play. And those parents like just get so excited. No other industry can provide those physical, tangible needs that we have. You can get great software, and people love the tech industry for what it gives us, but people don't necessarily appreciate there's a physical world that we've built around ourselves that we need in order to even sit at our computer and think and talk. Does that like make you motivated to be in this industry? Because I know it's not like the future is AI and we need to get into tech, but like we still got to build stuff in order to do tech.
Yeah. So while doing the architecture course, I got very much attached to it because people have their emotions attached with the building. So it is like a great thing because we are giving their we are helping them to build their dream. So it's a very great thing to like communicate with the owner about their requirements, their needs, and then get into all these things into the paper, and then you are getting into like the building the structure. So it's definitely.
It's been, I think I mentioned to you when we talked on the phone, it's also been a hurdle for me in my career to, when I first started in college, they taught me how to draft things on paper with a pencil. They also taught me AutoCAD, and they also taught me a little bit of 3D modeling. So at that time I was like, this is going to shift to 3D modeling alone. Everything will be digital. And there's just been a lot of hurdles along that way. I've been out of college for 15 years. So that entire time I've been expecting it like tomorrow we're going to get rid of this paper stuff, and it still hasn't happened that quickly. So I wonder if you have noticed that too, and if you're excited about a future that's more digital and that uses more technology. Is there do do you have an enthusiasm about helping this industry catch up?
Okay. So like the construction industry is evolving like tremendously in the tech domain. So like there are new technologies like the AI, IoT systems, and also they are also considering the sustainability more nowadays. And like the the technology has a very good impact in the architecture field, like everything. We can also have a real time track of the progress, like we can also do the laser scanning of the construction site of at every phases of the construction. So it's very great to see that it is helping us, because sometimes there is a constraint to have the human involved in the process, because like the safety concern is always involved while working at the construction site. So the technology is like helping in a great way to our industry, I
Yeah,
believe.
it's definitely going to save some of those dangerous jobs, I think, in the near future. I think, too, a lot of the boring ones. So, like, they talk about dangerous, dull, and what's the last one? Dangerous, dull. There's three Ds. I'll remember at some point. But you
Okay.
want to take away those dangerous jobs. The safety stuff is important. I think drones are going to help us with that. I don't know if
Yeah,
you
definitely.
have gotten interested. I got my FAA certification. Have
Oh,
you
that's
flown
cool.
any
So
drones
what
or?
oh, yes. So in my spring semester class, so there was a course called Construction 4.0. So in that, I have studied about the drones, laser scanning, and the 3D printing technology. So it was very like interesting to know about that, and also I would like to use that technologies in the future. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, one of the things that I'd like to prepare you for, maybe you'll find it a lot easier, but as I went through my career, like I was mentioning, I would think of these great ideas that would immediately reduce safety hazards and also cost less money over time, like use a drone to do progress photos. You can have it pre-mapped. You save a guy from walking around specifically to take pictures, and you actually end up with a whole 3D representation of the job site instead of just pictures that have no context. It's kind of a no-brainer to me sometimes, but the hurdle that you run into a lot is people are just resistant to change because, we've been making money doing it this way. That person's job is to take photos. We like him being there because of this, this, and this, or there's privacy concerns. We can't have photos of everything. There's a lot of resistance to it. Are you prepared for that? And how do you think you'll try to help whoever convince them like it's worth giving it a shot with technology?
So like the first step is to take training. Like every construction site should have the criteria for the training thing. So it will help people to start accepting the technology. So it will help them like, okay, we can give it a shot. Like we can just try it on a one construction site and let's see what happens next. So the training thing, I believe it is a major thing which will help people to transform from the old book rule like sort of thing to the uh, new and the exciting phase of the construction. So yeah, but I also feel like in the construction industry, regarding to the resistancy and all that, people are the construction industry is very male dominating. So like there should also be inclusivity, like the diversity uh, of the community. Like they should always welcome women with like, okay, people they are also capable of doing the construction work, because it has been challenging for women to enter the construction industry, because like they already have their mindset set, like the field job the women can't do it, but it is not like that. We are more capable doing the field job also. So people should always be welcome to the technology, to the like the gender equality. There should be a diversity in the construction industry, I think.
I totally agree. I just even also agree that diversity of opinions and ideas is always good. So, yeah, I think it is hard to not make a judgment on a person based on their initial appearance, but I think it's so important for this industry to get better in that way. I'm excited to see women taking leadership roles on construction sites. I think um, they are oftentimes more intelligent and better at the emotional intelligence aspects of the job. So there's a lot of pluses, but I also think they're definitely equal. So thanks for choosing our industry. I think we need more brave people like you to just say, "Hey, I'm excited about this industry too." What are some highlights of the internship that you've been able to do? What are you enjoying?
So currently, I'm working as a AEC engineer in the Atlanta company. So here I'm learning about the laser technique and how we are documenting the uh, digital twins of the building and working on it. So like it's a very good thing to learn on the field. Like we are also able to do the laser scanning and converting the tangible structure into the point cloud thing. So yeah, I'm very much enjoying that thing.
That's awesome. What do you think you look for in a company as you get closer to, I want to choose a company for a while? What are the qualities you want to find in a company?
So the first quality I would look in a company that is, which is very acceptable to use advanced technology. So they are very much into the exploring the technology and how we can implement those technologies in the construction site. So first thing is the technology. The second thing is there should be value and the integrity like sort of thing. So like if I am a part of a team and I'm working on a project, so my idea should also be heard, and they should also give respect like to my ideas. Okay, if they are not aligned with the project perfectly, but still they can heard my the ideas and what I'm trying to convey for the like in the uh, good terms of the project. So yeah, and the another thing is like I would like to mention there should be uh, like the personal. They should always provide the personal growth to their employees. So it always help a person to grow in their career also, and eventually it will help the company. So there should be a room for a person to do their self development thing. So
That's awesome. Yeah, I think it creates good leaders also when you listen to the opinions underneath you. I think some of the best things that I've done have been listen to someone around me who's smart and take their opinions. And I think sometimes we're too stubborn. We think, you know what, I automatically know better than that person, so I'm not even going to listen. And I think we miss out on a lot of good opportunities to learn if we don't listen to that. Um, how do you think social media can help in our industry? I mean, it's not the first industry you think of when it comes to social media, but LinkedIn seems to have a very healthy presence, and I've enjoyed kind of meeting people through it. Do you think it's a good avenue to grow professionally?
so like LinkedIn also helped us to meet. So it's a great
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah,
And like the LinkedIn has been the instrumental thing in my career growth because I was looking for the internship. So it helped me to build my network. As I'm from India, so I have to do my networking from the scratch in the different country. So it really helped me a lot, and I've connected with the great professionals, and I'm talking with them, also learning from their experience. So I think LinkedIn is a very good platform to showcase our work also because it helps people to know about your company, what work you are doing right now, and people always see the result. So LinkedIn is a platform which shows the result. So it's a very good thing. Also, like LinkedIn have different types of courses related to construction. So I've also done some courses on LinkedIn. So yeah, it is very helpful.
cool. What do you think? This is just like a throw it out there, take this however you want. But what do you think is the coolest thing about construction?
So the coolest thing about construction is like it's evolving every day. Every day, new technology, new material is coming up, and you have to like research on it and how you do the research, like how you can use it on the site, on the construction site, and do the implementation. So I'm very much captivated with the industry. Like there is a growth in the industry, so it is not like this mundane industry, like okay, you have to get on the desk and do some typical type of work. So like every day on the construction site is different, and you learn way things. So yeah, I'm very excited about the industry.
Me too. I was reading a book called Built to Fail. It has a quote in there. It talks about we're going to have to build an entire New York City every single month in order to keep up with the demand for building space. And I think that just kind of gave me resilience that this industry isn't going away. We're going to keep needing to build things, and even like old buildings fall down, buildings get outdated. We're constantly retrofitting buildings and changing them to our liking. So that's kind of what I get excited about. I'm like, there's a lot of job stability there. Does that appeal to you as well?
So yeah, construction industry has been very good in terms of job security. So because project takes like the long time, so like you are on the project for the 2-3 years, so you have that surety. Okay, so you can work on the project, learn about the process, which are involved in the construction thing, and yeah, I believe there is a stability as compared to the IT industry, because like AI has taken all the work of the people. So it is very difficult for IT people to get a job.
True. Yeah, I think one thing I'm interested to hear your perspective on is like the thing that's plaguing, I think, the construction industry is that projects take too long and they cost too much. And you just hear, I mean, it's very seldom you have a project that doesn't have what's called a change order, which means the price went up during the course of construction. So um, are you prepared to face that? Do you feel like there's a solution that us old guys haven't figured out yet? And are you wanting to work to find the solution to where, or do you think it's something that will maybe always plague construction? I'm hoping you're
I
hopeful.
believe I believe it will be always in the construction side, because it is very difficult to uh, predict the long way. Like you can have the risk management thing of for the 6 months, for the 1 year, but you never know how things gonna turn out. So I believe it will always be in a construction industry. Like the percentage can be decreased, but it will stay with the construction industry.
Mm. Yeah, I'm I think part of that is because every humans are flawed. Nothing can be perfect. And no matter how well we try to estimate, like you said, it's kind of impossible to predict certain outcomes, like for example, storms, acts of God that do impact construction, and it's hard to account for. Recently, COVID and the supply chain issue really threw a big wrench for the industry. But I think at this point, our industry is starting to use that as a convenient excuse for things. And I'd like to see us all just kind of go back to the whiteboard per se and start thinking about like, how do we give clients more predictability in their construction projects, and how do we keep within a budget? Because I mean, most of the other industries have answered those questions, and I feel like we're one of the few. Even I think you go to a mechanic these days, they're pretty reasonable. In the past, I know that was a stereotype but I feel like we're an industry that has that problem, and I want to help change it. Go ahead. Sorry.
I believe like the every site is different, so every site comes up with their own conditions, so it is very difficult to predict the changes, or like the how we can eliminate the uh, uh, how we can eliminate the risk factor or like how we can reduce the timeline of the project, because like there are external factors involved, like the logistic you mentioned, the material, and also the shortages is also a major part in the construction industry. So I believe like we have to like actively work uh, on these factors to make the construction industry more efficient.
I agree. Um, is there anything you want to ask, or anything else you want to talk about? If you want to look up Ridhima on LinkedIn, feel free. But anything you want to talk about before we wrap this up?
Okay, so like I would like to know about your experience, because you have 15 years of experience, and how you have saw the growth in the construction industry. So because I'm very new to the industry in the US also. So I would like to have some insight from you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I won't. I'll try not to spend too long because I try to keep this podcast not about me. I don't feel like I'm an expert in the industry at all, and the purpose of me doing this podcast is to talk to people who are. And I think you're an expert in the making, by the way. So I think that maybe give it 10,000 hours, like they say, and come back on the podcast, and you'll be right there with the rest of my experts. But yeah, so my background is studied construction management at Cal Poly and have grown up in the U.S. my entire life. I actually did marry a Brazilian, so I really enjoy people who immigrate here. I'm always fascinated by other cultures, and that's part of what really attracted to me to my wife. But there are many other things as well, and I actually didn't initially even know that she was Brazilian. It took a couple dates before
Oh,
I
okay.
understood. Um,
That's interesting.
yes, but the construction industry, my entry to it was I liked playing with Legos as a kid, and I would see, like you, I would see construction plans laying around the house because my dad was an engineer, and I just thought they were cool. I was like, what is this? Like, how could that possibly be part of your job to look at those? I don't understand them. And then, like you said, learning to think in 3D with a 2D drawing was really interesting to me. And I would start to sketch my dream home on notepads, and I would make these what I thought were kind of rudimentary architectural house plans all through grade school. And then I also liked the physical aspect of construction. I would, in the summers, like you, I would go volunteer to build houses in communities that needed them. And yeah, getting to try to do something from start to finish like that too is a fun challenge, because you could see like there's just dirt over here, and then when you're done, there's a building that someone could live in. There's something really um, satisfying about that
Yeah, definitely.
experience. And that's what kind of made me. I also kind of realized if I went into architecture, I wasn't going to be Frank Lloyd Wright. Like probably, maybe if I was really lucky. And that's really what I wanted to do in architecture. I wanted to design. I didn't really want to be at a computer designing boring lines and square. Um, so I wanted to get my hands-on experience, and started out after my degree in what I call the forensic niche of construction management, which is construction-related firms who would get hired by attorneys to investigate construction projects that had failed in some way. So sometimes it would be a building failure, like water intrusion in the building envelope, and we would have to go do destructive testing and pull apart a wall and look, where's the water coming from, and try to look at the details of that wall and figure out, was this thermal and moisture protection adequate for the situation? And we would come up with a determination and help an attorney build a case about that. And so it was an interesting way to join the industry, because I saw every kind of project that went really poorly. And it made me think they all go really poorly, which they don't, but a lot of them do. And that's just an unfortunate side of our industry. I think the projects fail like that. So I did that for 8 or 9 years and really wanted to go see if I could apply that knowledge to keep projects from failing. And so went into more the GC side and the subcontractor side, did some structural glazing work, and now I'm with a construction management firm that's more of an owner's representative that we're just kind of the go-between between the owner, and we help them hire on an architect and get a project designed, and then we bid out the work to contractors too and oversee it for the owner. So my hope for the future too is that we will figure out ways to kind of pull some of these levers that we have to get projects really to meet a budget and a schedule. And that's part of my motivation to do this podcast, was like, there's some really good thought leaders out there. I've seen a lot of them on LinkedIn. Let me see if I can just pull them in and see if we can gather that knowledge base and apply it across the board so the whole industry can get a better reputation. Because I just don't like that. Even if you think about home renovation, people will always complain about their contractor. He didn't come back for 3 weeks, and then he said it costs more because of this, and I don't know, they make stuff up. I only hear complaints about contractors, and I just want people to, number one, be able to appreciate the world of construction, but also for us to prove it to them that it's worth it to trust a professional to come do it right. I know people have TV shows about it, but sometimes homeowners try to fix their house themselves and they make things a lot worse. And so I think there's a lot of potential for us to be a great part of making the world a better place in the construction industry. And I don't have many of the answers, but I'm just hoping to gather some of them from other people. So that's kind of the long version of my background. I appreciate you for asking. I mean, that's kind of fun. I haven't done that on this podcast, but
Yeah, I'm also learning from people, so it's very great to get some experience from you. So
yeah,
it's
well,
really good thing.
I'll keep in touch with you. I've really enjoyed getting to know you, and we'll have you back on in a few years when you get some experience under your belt
Yeah,
and
sure,
have
definitely. Then I'll
then
have different buildings and I'll just talk about different examples and we'll connect with, yeah.
yeah, you'll be teaching me at that point for sure.